Hi, boys and girls. What I'd like to do today is talk about how to write an introduction to your informational story. When we write an introduction, so far we have been writing, I'm going to tell you about, and you've chosen the animal that you were going to write about. I want to talk what I would like you to start doing instead of that because you're getting ready for second grade. And I know that you can do more than that. And so that's what I would like for us to work on. And I'm talking about this today so that next week, when you're doing your story, I would like you to use one of these choices. Okay. So the first thing you might do is if it works in your story, you might start with a sound. So if I'm going with my story from this past week of writing about the warthog. So I kind of looked on the internet to say, okay, what is a sound that a warthog will make? And then I'm going to use it here. And it really is just going to be one word and have an exclamation mark after it. Now, that doesn't work for every story that you write. That's an informational story, but some it will. Like if you are writing about an animal, you might think, what is the sound that animal can make? If you are writing about a sport, what sound do you often hear in the sport? Like if you're writing about baseball, you might put whack because that is a sound you hear a lot in baseball or softball because people are hitting the ball with a bat. And you need to think about what sound is usually thought of with the thing you're writing about. It won't work for everything, but it might sometime. All right. So when I think about the warthog, a sound that it might make is snort. Okay. And so, because they snort and they grunt and they squeal, maybe I want to put squeal because I'm thinking about the sounds that they make. And I use the internet to help me figure that out. So I think I'm going to use the word squeal. Squeal. I'm not confident that I've spelled that word correctly. Squeal. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Squeal. And I use an exclamation mark after it. Okay, because when we're doing a sound like that, I need it to show strong feeling. Okay, another way that I might start my story is if I ask the reader a question. Now, usually this is, let's say that I've figured out something that the warthog can do. And I think it's interesting. I am going to use another one down here, but I'm going to say, ask the reader a question. My question might be, do you know what animal can run 30 miles an hour? Because that's one of the things that they can do. And so my question would be, do you know what animal can run 30 miles per hour? And then, so it's going to be the question. And then my next sentence would probably be, it's the warthog. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. It's the warthog. And I also might use an exclamation mark here. Okay. So I can start with a sound that is associated with what I'm talking about. I can ask a question. Do you know what animal can run 30 miles per hour? And then it's the warthog. The last thing you might do is tell another interesting fact about that, whatever you're writing about. Okay. And so give an interesting or surprising fact. It might be, I'm just going to go ahead and use this one again. And I might say, It's amazing that the warthog can run 30 miles per hour. Okay. It is amazing that the warthog can run 30 miles per hour. Because when you look at it, you wouldn't think it'd be running like that. I may put, because I use the word amazing, I think I need strong feeling there. So instead, next week of just saying, I'm going to tell you about blank, okay, I want you to think of how can you use one of these? Can you start with a sound? It depends on if it's going to work in your story. Could you ask a question? Yeah. Could you give an amazing fact or surprising fact about whatever you're writing about? You're not going to use all of them. You're just going to choose one. And you're going to choose which one fits best with your story. Okay. So we want to get away from doing the same thing every time. Again, you're getting ready to go into second grade. You're becoming stronger writers. And so when you're writing, I want to see you using some of these things to make your writing even better. Because second graders, you're going to be writing even more. And I want you to be able to show that you've learned how to be a good writer in first grade, because I know you have. All right. So next week, work on having one of these as your introduction, your first sentence. Okay. All right. Everybody have a great day.